Okay, welcome everyone to Mastermind with Neil Schwartz and our very special guest, Larry Kozak. Larry, you hear me okay?
I am a great salesperson. I am a great salesperson. I am a great salesperson.
Don't you just love
I'm
that
sorry.
guy?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you. I was just doing my affirmation.
So every morning we sign off on the role play by making sure the agents know that when the body's in motion, the mind will follow. And coincidentally, Larry, we chant that 3 times. I've been doing that for 4 years at 9 o'clock in the morning. So thanks for reminding us of our job and what we're supposed to do. I am a great salesperson. I am a great salesperson. I am a great salesperson. And you are.
Yeah.
Larry and I have known each other for 20 plus years through the Mike Ferry organization. Larry's now a coach, one of the senior coaches, I would say arguably one of the best of the best. And
I'm only 73. I'm only 73. I'm not
you're
senior.
I'm not, whoa.
You mean senior? Oh, senior, long time, you mean? Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Larry, you're the same age I am. Come on.
You said senior. I thought you meant old guy kind of thing.
No.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
No older than I am anyway. All right. Good job.
How can I help these agents today?
Oh, we're gonna talk about it, but I kind of wanted to go back in history a little bit, because sometimes people think that we're born with great skills and we show up one day and we know what to do and how to do it. And that wasn't exactly how you started in this business, was it?
No, I struggled like everybody else. I mean, I seen some agents, back in the 80s from Century 21, and they had the gold jackets and they looked really smart. And I thought, geez, if I ever change careers, man, I want to be like those. And they used to come in the restaurant all the time. They looked really shit. They had that gold, not yellow, gold. It was gold jacket. That influenced me.
Larry, what were you doing? Where were you working before the real estate business?
I was an entrepreneur. I owned a truck stop and on the Trans-Canada Highway in Canada, and I had sold the truck stop. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and the Century 21 had sold the business for me, and I had a couple other business. I had a grocery store, a variety store, a motel. And Century 21 had sold these businesses for me. And the broker said, you ever think about getting into real estate? And I said, no, I never thought about that. He said, you know a lot of people. I think you do well. And that's how I got into real estate. Basically.
Interesting. Very good.
Yeah.
And so immediately you were selling hundreds of houses a year, correct?
No, that first year I really struggled because of the people that were, it was a normal real estate office, nobody dressed up. They might come in around 11:30 in the morning. Nobody made any phone calls. It was just that's the way most real estate offices were in my town. And I didn't know any better until one day I got invited to a kind of a workshop in Toronto put on by my company, and Mike Ferry was there. And I remember when I walked in there, I heard this guy yelling, who wants to be a millionaire? Anybody here? Who wants to be? And it was like, it was like kind of like the day I met Jesus. It was kind of like that. It just, it hit me that way. And I started following the Mike Ferry sales system, making changes. And it wasn't very long. Within, weeks, basically, my production took off.
Wow, fantastic.
And I would say within 4 years, I was at 200 plus sales a year. And for many, many years, my wife and I get to give Ramona credit. We would do 250 sales every year, 200 listings, 50 buyer sales.
Okay. But you coach a lot of people. I coach a lot of people. Finding somebody that goes from 15 to 20 their first year to 200 in their third or fourth year is a little bit above average. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So what do you think the difference is? What was the difference for you?
I had that burning desire to really succeed, and I was hungry. I don't mean
Okay.
hungry like hungry for me. I mean, I was hungry to succeed. I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know what I was going to do, but we had a house full of kids and needed to make money, and I was just really, really hungry, and I had that burning desire to succeed.
Can we talk about that burning desire for a minute? I hear that a
Sure.
lot.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? I mean, were you starved to death as a kid? Were you deprived of anything as a child? Did you read a book and you plugged into it? Where did that come from?
Uh, well, I came from a large family, 7 kids in our family. My dad was an entrepreneur. He had a small trucking business. And, I used to help my dad go door to door selling fruit, vegetables, fish. Uh, my God, I mean, till I was about 10, I thought my name was Get Wood. We burned wood in the house and, I get wood, Larry, get wood, like I wasn't brought up in a very wealthy, everything, but we were taught, you wouldn't go to your dad and ask for money because you wouldn't get it. Not because he was being mean, we just didn't have it. But he would say, look, it's snowing outside. Go and knock on some doors and see if somebody wants their driveway shoveled or their path shoveled. It's been raining for a week. Go see if somebody wants their grass cut. I mean, that's the way it was in my house. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So are all your brothers and sisters successful?
It's kind of like the kids that I have. Ramon and I have 8 kids, and they usually end up on
Wait. How many?
Ramon and I have 5 boys and 3 girls, and they
Good for
usually end
you.
up. Thank you. They usually end up on one of 2 tracks. Either they want to save the world, or they want to get rich. So, my brothers and sisters they're teachers. They're very well educated, and my kids are like that too. I've got some kids that are nurses or whatever, and I have one daughter that's a singer songwriter and has no interest at all in money or whatever, and then I have a couple of sons or whatever that are like me. All they think about is being successful and making money or whatever. So either one is fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So it wasn't a book, it was a little bit of your upbringing, etc. And was the expectation the only way you were going to make money is through working for it?
That's correct.
Got it. Got it. So you got connected with Mike. What did he have you do, or did you go into coaching right away?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
So
the biggest difference was my appearance.
tell me what you mean.
Well, I came from I owned a truck stop. I mean, I wore blue jeans and cowboy boots, and I had a shirt on that had the oil company that I sold the deal, had their company name on it and the Canadian flag over here, and I drove a red pickup truck. I mean, that's what my gig, that's what my get up was. And then when I got into real estate and I went to the real estate office, there was no real direction there. Everybody looked like they were going to Costco on Saturday morning. And then when I got involved with Mike Ferry and I went to my first retreat, my God, people wearing dress shirts and ties and suits, and they look really nice, So that was the biggest thing that helped me. I think, if anything, I noticed as soon as I started dressing like that and going on appointments, wow, it's like I could get the listing just so easy. It just came easy like that because I was so different than everybody else. And then my coach said, wear a name badge. Oh my God, as soon as I put that name badge on, people started asking me, how was real estate? How was real estate? And then they taught me what to say. Actually, right now, I'm looking for homes to sell. Do you know anybody that's looking to sell or buy a home that could use my help? I mean, that would get me 1 to 2 deals a month just by knowing what to say.
Right.
And still to this day, when I go into a real estate office, rarely do I see anybody wearing a name badge.
But there are more people wearing coat and tie, no?
Absolutely, yeah.
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 The offices
Just look on the screen today,
yeah.
right?
Well, a lot of these people are Century 21 masters or master affiliates or Mike Ferry agents. So
Right.
when you go to a Mike Ferry event, the only guy wearing a t-shirt is the guy that didn't get the memo yet, but at lunchtime he goes and buys a suit.
Yeah, yeah. When I get dressed in the morning, I start singing that song. I'm in the money, I'm in the money, makes you feel good. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good.
That's exactly correct. Good stuff. Okay, so your business, when you were starting to move up, came from where? Past client sphere, expired, for sale by owners?
No, most of it at the beginning came from people that I knew. And
Okay.
Mike Ferry told me, he said, Larry, there's two people, two places, two groups of people you can get money from. Do you know who they are? I was naive. I don't know. Who are they? Well, there's the people you know and the people you don't know. And I said, well, that makes sense, Mike. And he said, who do you think would give you business first? I said, well, of course, people I know. So that's who I want you to work on right away. I said, what do you want me to say? He said, I want you to call as many as you can each day and tell them the good news. So I said, good news? What's the good news? You're in the real estate business. And then I want you to ask them when they plan on moving or if they know somebody that might. I mean, it's so freaking simple. I said, that's it. That's it. And right away, that first month, couple of 3 months, I'd be taking 3 or 4 or 5 listings a month, 3 or 4, just by calling people and going, ring, ring.
Hello?
Neil,
Yeah.
Larry Kozak, how are you today?
Good, Larry. How are you?
Good, good. Neil, I wanted to give you some good news. Could you use some good news today?
Absolutely, Larry.
Well, I'm in the real estate business now. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when do you plan on moving?
Well, we don't really have any plans.
Well, I don't blame you. Would you happen to know anybody that's looking to sell or buy right now that could use my help?
Can't think of anybody yet.
Would you keep me in mind?
Sure.
All right. Do you have any questions about real estate I can help you with today? Any concerns? Any advice I could give you?
No, thank you
Well,
though.
let's keep in touch.
All right. Good stuff. Larry,
So easy.
that was the first scripts that Mike gave you. Do you use those scripts in your coaching today, or do you stay closer to the scripts that Mike teaches?
Well, when I get somebody new to coach, because I don't pick the people that I coach, Mike Ferry picks them and they send to me. So sometimes they get people that, that have never worked a database or maybe they're brand new. So
Okay.
I teach them the first thing is there's 2 groups of people in your life, 2 groups of people in your world, the people you know and the ones you don't know. Who would give you business first? And then, of course, the next thing I asked them to do is get a name badge. Not a little, puny thing to get a little balloon or bull crap. No. Get a freaking, Century 21 Masters, Larry, salesperson, like this here. Wear that with pride. And everywhere you go, Monday to Friday, if you're working, wear your name badge. And guess what people are going to ask you?
How's the real estate business?
Actually, right now, I'm looking for homes to sell. Who do you know that's looking to sell or buy a home that could use my help? I mean, everywhere I went. I mean, Ramona, she's Dutch, and every baby christening, every birthday from uncles and aunts. I mean, we'd go to the city and you'd walk into her uncle's house and there's 35 people there on a Sunday afternoon. Soon as my shadow would darken the door, guess what everybody asked me?
How's the real estate?
I don't know.
Guess what I said? Actually, right now I'm looking for homes to sell. I mean, just everywhere you went, gas station, grocery store, in line, get a freaking name badge. That was the number one thing that helped me.
But that only got you a couple hundred deals.
Yeah, that would get me, just by wearing a name badge and knowing what to say, would probably get you a good consistent 8, 10, 12 deals a year if you wore it every day.
Right.
Absolutely. Prove me wrong. Prove me
Yeah.
wrong. Okay.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Good stuff. So you're picking up deals, you're working like that.
Mhm.
You're doing a couple hundred transactions. What took you away from let me back up. Are you involved in personal production now?
No,
No.
my
Okay.
son.
So what took you guys out of personal production, making what sounds like a lot of money, and got you into the coaching you're involved with today?
Uh, well, what allowed me to do it, because we were making a lot of money selling real estate, was, when I first got into coaching with Mike Ferry, I think it was late 89 or 1990. Mike said to me, how many properties do you own? And I said, properties do I own? I said, well, I don't own any. I said, I got a house that we live in, but I got a mortgage on it. And he said, you should start buying real estate, you know. And I said, how much are you? He said, well, like you should be taking 10% of every paycheck you get, tucking it aside. Once a month, you and Ramona, go out and visit all the duplexes and triplexes that are for sale. And when you see one you really like, once a year or something like that, step up and buy it. So we started buying these duplexes and triplexes. And back then, they're, I don't know, 89.9, 119. Those same ones today, are $1 million or
Right.
more, some of them. So we ended up getting a lot of rental properties. And then Mike was really strict with making sure that we saved money from each deal. So we saved a lot of money. And we just got to a point where didn't have to work that hard anymore. And Mike asked me, would you consider being a coach, at least part-time? So I just kind of started, like a lot of coaches, with 8 or 10 clients, and my real estate business is up here. And probably over 4 or 5 years, just kind of went like that.
For you.
I think the biggest difference for me when I started, and for some people on this call, it might be like that as well. I don't know if you remember, but in the late 80s and early 90s, I mean, we got into a big recession. And the one good thing that God had blessed me with, I was new. So, when everybody else was whining and complaining about interest rates being 16, 17%, we're in a big recession or whatever, Mike Ferry taught me early on. He said, Larry, and at the time, I was trying to get to 100 deals. He said, whether you get to 100 deals or not, it's going to depend on some things. And I want you to be aware of this. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, any person, any company, any organization that is something that they want to accomplish, it always depends on something. And I can remember, he said, like, if you're a student, it depends if you're doing your homework and showing up for class. If you're a farmer, it depends on the weather. If you're a retail business, it depends if you got a good product everybody wants and it's at a reasonable price. In the real estate business, he said it's going to depend on things like your burning desire to accomplish something. It's going to depend on you keeping a positive mindset. He said it's going to depend on you having a productive daily schedule that you follow. It's going to depend on you being fanatical with your lead follow-up and talking to at least 20 people each day about buying or selling real estate. He said it's not going to depend on the economy. It's not going to depend on interest rates. He said it's not going to depend on the real estate market. He said it's not going to depend, doesn't even depend on this latest thing now, the tariffs or whatever they call them. I mean, it's going to depend on you. So he said, if it's meant to be, it's going to be up to me. That's what he had me write down. I never, ever forgot that. Doesn't matter what's going on. If you Neil, some of the biggest stars that Mike Ferry has on the stage and he interviews them, when did they become famous? Not when the market was on fire. They all became, remember interest rates were 16, 17, and then 2006 and 2, everything was going for a crap. And all these guys are selling 130, 40, 50 homes a year. I mean, it's when times are really tough that it was the easiest for a Mike Ferry agent, because
when times are tough, the tough get going.
You got it. Yeah, I got it. So it's important
Absolutely.
to remember that, especially these days.
So right now, the economy's changing a little bit. They're doing all kinds of crazy things with tariffs and things like that. So it messes with people's heads. Where's my neck? Interest rates are a little bit higher. So what do you do for yourself that keeps your head in the game and keeps you positive?
Well, I never listen to the news.
Okay, good.
Any movies that I watch are always true stories and very inspiring. Last night I watched the Naiad. Have you ever watched that movie Naiad?
Actually twice.
Jeez,
Yeah, isn't
this
that a
lady, and she's coming up out of the water, right? She's coming up, and she's almost half dead. And the news reporter says, "And what did you learn from this experience?" She goes, "Never give up, and you're never too old to accomplish your goal." And she said, even though you swim by yourself, it's so much like real estate. Even though you swim by yourself, it's not a solo sport. You need a team. And it's the same in the real estate business. You need a team. You need a good office, you need a good broker, you need a good coach, you need a good mentor to follow, right? It's like that. So just
100%.
fill your head with that kind of stuff. Hang around with people that are going to bring out the best in you, not hold you back.
So let me ask you something. I mean, coaching is great. Mike really has created something very, very special. But would you agree that it's as much or more the people you get to hang out with at the events than it is the actual things we learn? Would you say that's fairly accurate?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Can't hear you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Got it. Do you have any
Listen,
example?
well, I'll give you an example. Like, I go to visit my daughter, who's a country singer up in Nashville. And after 3 days, my gosh, I start talking like, how y'all doing? You become, when I go to the rodeos in the summertime, by the second rodeo, I got cowboy boots on. I got a great big belt buckle, right? When I jump on my boat and drive down to Bob Cajun for dinner with Ramona, we got our Tilly hat on. I got my white sweater on. It gets cool in the evening, kind of thing. I mean, you become who you hang around with.
Right.
Like it or not,
Absolutely.
that's just the way it is.
100%.
Guess who bank robbers hang around with?
Other bank robbers.
Yeah. The only thing that a real estate agent and somebody addicted to crack has in common is you got to have the same work ethic.
I'm not
a
sure.
crack addict,
what
they will do to get a hit, you got to be like that in the real estate business to get a listing appointment. Okay. I want you working like a crack addict works to get a hit. Okay.
Now I get it. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Before we go on, Larry, let's check and see if we have any questions for you up to this point. Any questions for things that Larry's up to, working on, etc.?
Coach, hi, it's Metab, your favorite.
Oh, bonjour, comment ça va, matin?
Ça va bien, woo. How did you learn by far, you're one of the best people I've heard handling objections. How did you practice and learn your objection handler so it comes like very natural to you?
Well, you always have to start with the response pattern. So when somebody gives you an objection, the response pattern is you repeat the objection. It let them know you're listening, and then you always approve. So you're on their side, you're on their team kind of. And then you always handle the objection by asking them a question. Okay. And I guess that, the best way to handle objection is to remember that the answer you're looking for will be found in the questions that you ask.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to suggest we list your house for $999. Can we go ahead and sign the contract now? When they say, no, I want 1.1. Oh, so you want 1.1? Good for you. Could I ask you a couple of questions? Do you basically think when all your competition is around 9.99 and you're at 1.1, do you think you'll have a better chance of selling? Well, no. Do you want your home to sit or to sell? Well, I want it to sell. Therefore, we should be listening at 9.99. Wouldn't you agree? You know, the answer you're looking for will be found in the questions that you ask. You might have to ask, I just asked 2, but you might have to ask 5 or 6 to bring them around to what your thought is. Okay. Very good question. Remember, response pattern, repeat, always approve, and ask questions.
Got it. Thank you, Coach.
All right, Larry, good. Excellent. Very, very nice. Questions for Larry before we move on?
I have one for you, Larry.
Go ahead.
Out of all the times, of all the things that you've learned here at Mike Fair, and it's been a lot, and I'm sure it has, what would you say is the number one habit that you would contribute to all of your real estate success? And I know there can be a lot, but what would you say is the number one?
The number one habit.
Correct.
The number one habit.
Number one habit, or
No, leave it
Number one.
there. Leave it there.
Okay.
Okay.
I wrote it down. I wrote mine
Num-
down. Larry,
Yeah.
let's see what you got.
Number one habit that helped me to be most successful is always to say my favorite affirmation multiple times a day. I still do it today.
the one you started with? I'm a great sales agent. I'm a great sales.
No.
agent. No.
No, I want to
No.
be a millionaire.
No, I want you
No?
to ask me, who am I talking to? What's his name?
A Tyrone.
Yes.
Tyrone. I want you to ask me, how are you, Larry?
How are you, Larry?
I'm alive, excited, and full of energy.
All right.
Man, I must say that 50 times a day. I'm alive, excited. I'm coaching 13, 14 people a day, every day. They all
Mhm.
ask me the same thing. Hi, Coach Larry. How are you? Alive, excited, and full of energy. I'm walking, I'm in a resort here where I live in the wintertime. And everybody's walking. They say, hi, how are you this morning? I'm alive, excited. I mean, it puts them into shock. They can't believe it.
Right.
It's probably a good habit to have.
Okay. All right. Good.
All
Thank you.
right, good question, Tyrone.
Question.
Go ahead, Josie.
So we had the pleasure of listening to Larry at the last retreat.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Desert. Yes, and it was great. Thank you so much. One of the things that you said was get in a house every day. And we hear that all the time, but you saying it again, get an appointment, go to a for sale by owner, preview a house, which Neil wants us to do every day. So thank you for that.
Yeah. So Josie, you're a for sale by owner, okay?
Okay.
So ring.
Hello.
Hi, I'm calling about the home for sale. I seen it on Craigslist. Is this the owner?
It is?
Oh, good. I'm glad I got you. Now, is it still available, first of all?
Yeah.
Are you open for offers right now? Are you accepting or looking at offers?
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm calling about the home for sale. I seen it on Craigslist. Is this the
Oh,
owner?
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
the
Are you open for offers right now?
Well, of course, I want to sell it.
Okay, all right. Well, my name is Larry Kozak. I'm calling from the real estate office. I'm just calling to book a preview appointment for this afternoon around 4:45. It takes about 5 minutes. Would that be okay? About 4:45, quick preview appointment?
Do you have a buyer?
Oh, 4,400 homes sold here in Toronto in February. We have a lot of buyers. And what's your name?
Josie.
Josie. Okay, so it's Larry. I'll see you about 5:45. Fair enough?
Oh. Well, okay.
All right. I'm going to have to go and preview. Get in a house every day.
Okay.
That's the fun part of our job, right? There's no fun there prospecting all day, but going on an appointment, getting in to see what kind of stuff they got, and get to talk to them, hear their story. Oh my God. And get paid for it. Are you kidding me?
Very good.
Get in a house every day.
I think
Now
we
you
did
try
that.
it.
We
Now
did
you
it.
try it. Now you
No.
try it. I don't want you to tell me you're a real estate agent until you find out if I'm the owner, if the home is still for sale, and if I'm open for offers. You ready?
Okay.
So you
Ring,
say
ring.
ring, ring.
Ring, ring.
Hello, hello.
Oh, hello. Is this the owner of the property on 123 Main Street?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is the house for sale still?
Well, it sure is. Yep, yep. Got people here
Okay.
this morning looking at it, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
And you're the owner, right?
Are you open for offers?
Oh.
Come on.
Are you open for offers?
Well, good ones. Yeah, good ones. My
Okay.
name is,
Well, my name is Josie Jellick. I'm with Century 20.
no, I'm calling to,
I'm calling to set an appointment to take a look at your house.
I'm calling to book a preview. It's just like you're calling a real estate company. I'm just calling to book a preview appointment for this afternoon. Takes about 5 minutes. You know, tell me what time and ask me if that would be okay. Go ahead.
I'm calling to book a preview appointment this afternoon around 4:30. It only takes about 5 minutes. Would that be okay?
Preview. Yeah, I guess so. And once
Okay.
again, my name is Josie.
Once
Go ahead.
again, my name is Josie with
And
Century.
who am I speaking to?
And what is your name, sir?
It's Larry.
Larry. Very good. I'll
See
see
you, Larry.
you at 4:30.
Do that this afternoon.
Okay.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Okay.
So Josie, you're very conversational. You do this easily all the time, right? You're talking to people. And yet what's interesting, Larry, is that when we give an assignment that's slightly off center, they can't do it. But Josie, this is so natural for you.
Well, I was on the spot.
I
Now, when you
understand.
get there, you're going to bring your Mike Ferry FSBO script with you. You're going to knock on the door. They're going to open the door. Are you Larry? Yes, I'm Josie. You're going to look at me and say, would you mind showing me your house? A FSBO is never going to allow you to look at the house on your own. Yes, they love to show. And then you're going to step in the door and say, well, here's a little bit of information about me. You'll have a FSBO package. And then you're going to walk through the house. And as you're walking through their house, you're going to be taking them through the FSBO script. Got it?
Got it. Thank you.
Good job. Great stuff. Other questions for Larry? You got good stuff, Larry. I like it.
Does he have any of these scripts that we could use?
They're in the book right here. They're in the book, Mike Ferry book.
Okay.
They're all of these scripts, or most of them anyway, are either in our classes in the morning at 8 from 8 to 9, and or online. Mike has them posted. I think that's right. Am I correct, Larry?
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
question for Larry.
Please go ahead.
Hi, Larry. It's Emma here at Century 21.
I
So,
am.
Larry, usually when I call FSBOs, for example, I already know their name. So when I call, hey, Larry, how you doing? It's Emma from Century 21. You know, are you still open to for the sale of your property? Somehow I feel more comfortable knowing who I'm addressing. Does that work? I mean, that works for me as well. What do you think?
Yeah. Whatever works for you, keep using it. Of course.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. We were just talking with Josie about how do you get into a house every day? You know, how do you do that? And, you know, get into a house every day. I mean, what if FSBOs, what do we know about FSBOs that want to sell and they don't have a real estate agent, you know? So get in the house every day.
Nancy, you had a
If you
question?
visited one a day, a FSBO every day like that for 20 days out of the month, and you're really sucked at it. I mean, you're really sucked at it. I mean, what do you think from 20, you'd get at least a couple of 3 of appointments? You think out of 20, you'd get 1 listing. And if you did it every month, that's 12. And if your average commission check is, I don't know, 20, 25,000, figure that out. It's $250,000.
I have a
Good job,
question.
Larry. Larry, we have Nancy had a question.
Hi, Larry. What's in your FSBO package?
It would be the beginning of your LPOA, your listing plan of action.
Okay.
So you'd have like a what are you, your Century 21 folder. And then inside that, you'd have your one-page bio. And behind that, you'd have some, not testimonials, but references, if they wanted to check you out, 3 or 4 people they could call. And behind that, you'd have a list of some homes you've sold recently over the last 24 to 30 months. If you're new, you could use your company sales kind of thing, just a one-line summary, some of my recent sales. And then you'd have the address, not the exact address, just the street, no village, no name, just the street. In the middle, you'd have the sale price. And over here, you'd have sold by Nancy. And then the next one, Jane Street. You wouldn't say what area, would you say Jane Street, 965,000 sold by Jane or by Nancy. And you might have 2 or 3, just to, when they look at that, say, wow, this gal, she sells some houses, man. And then in behind that, you might have your LPOA, your listing plan of action, and that would be it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Coach, I have a
Good stuff.
question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know you told me, you said you were doing 200 deals. What was your mindset to get there?
I got a young bossy wife, high maintenance.
8 children.
Yeah.
All right, that makes
I
sense.
think I had this burning desire to accomplish a lot, to win. But honestly, and I just didn't learn this till later on. I was embarrassed to admit why I wanted to sell so much until I heard Mike Ferry one day. He said, I want to share with you what motivates people. And he said, there's 3 things that motivate people. Number 1, and in no particular order, number 1 is money. Could be number 2 is security. And number 3 is recognition. And I think I was just embarrassed to admit to anybody, I want to be the top agent in my office. I want to be and I was embarrassed to say that until Mike Ferry said, it's okay. I mean, whatever motivates you, take that and run with it. But it's money, security, and recognition. I wanted to be recognized.
Thank you,
Good
Coach.
question.
Good stuff. Any other questions for Larry? Great.
Is there any
Well-
book that you're reading right now? Good books you recommend?
Mike Ferry for Christmas gave me 11 books. And I called him to thank him for these books, which came in a box. And I called him to thank him for these books. And he said, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. I said, what's the homework assignment? And he said, I want you to buy 11 wire-bound notebooks at the dollar store. And he said, each wire-bound notebook, I want you to write down the gold nuggets that you read from each book. And you got a year to do it. So I've been working on influencing, winning friends and influencing people is the book I'm working on right now. But if you'd like a list of those books, just text me at 705-878-2877 and I'll send you the name of the books. But he gave me 11 books and that was the homework assignment.
Okay.
That's a
Thanks,
great
Coach.
thought. Thanks, Alex, for the
Can
question.
can you say your number again?
705-878-2877. Yeah.
So, Larry, let's just take a few more minutes and talk about what you're having your newer agents and your veterans that have been struggling to do right now, activity-wise, to
Neil, I don't have any veterans that are struggling.
okay.
Seriously, I don't.
Rip.
I mean, I'm coaching 60 people. I don't have
Uh-huh.
anybody that's not making money. I mean, everybody is, if they're following, their instructions every week. I mean, it might not be setting the world on fire, but
Right.
I don't have anybody that's not able to pay their bills or whatever. I mean, they're following the Mike Ferry sales system. They're paying $1,250 a month. I mean, they're doing everything I'm asking or most of what I'm asking to do, and they're all doing fine. I would say what I've been pounding into their heads lately is a 3-to-1 technique. Are you familiar with it? The 3-to-1 technique?
Go ahead.
So the 3-to-1 technique is, and I learned this, and it was taught to me by a Mike Ferry coach many, many years ago, is that, you know, when you take a listing or you make a sale and you go and knock on the neighbor's doors and you do it correctly, for every 3 that you do that, you'll get 1 new listing. Or a combination of, or a combination
Do that
of.
again. Do that again.
It's called a 3 for 1 technique. For every 3 listings, new listings you take, or 3 sales, or a combination of 3 listings or sales, that you go and door knock the closest 20 neighbors around that listing or that sale, you will get 1 new listing. Tried and true. Prove me wrong.
So is the number still 20?
Yeah, 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
you know, I learned from experience how to, you know, funnel that down so it really works. I mean, when my coach first taught me this, I would go at 1:30. I mean, you know, I had lunch and I did my prospecting. I was sick of the phone. I just okay, it's 1:30, man. I'm going door knocking. I get out there, Jesus, nobody's home. They're at the doctor's, they're gone shopping, they're at work, you know, whatever. And so I've soon figured out I'm going to go around 5:30, 5:45, 6:15. 90% of the homes, somebody was there. So then I learned I would park in front of my seller's door if it was a new listing, and I would knock on my seller's door. There's nothing that'll impress them more than you say, I'm going to go to this afternoon and knock on all your neighbors' doors, give them the first chance to give us a buyer. Maybe it's a family member, a friend, somebody from work. I'm going to go and do that now. I mean, they love that. I couldn't put a full page newspaper ad every week and make them happier. They would be, go, Larry, go. They'd be looking up, there you go, Larry. Good job. I'm glad we hired you. And then, you know, I'd be dressed for success. I have my name badge on, and I have a brand new company Century 21 folder. And I have 20 copies of the listing that I just listed. And I'd have my business card stapled to the opposite corner of the picture. I'd wait till the sign was up a day or 2. You know what I mean? You know, they're backing out of the driveway. Oh, neighbors got their home for sale. Come home that night. Oh yeah, they're selling. They're talking with the wife. You see the neighbors selling, you know, then all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. I'd be knocking on their door. 6:15 at night. They'd open the door. Can I help you? And hi, I'm Larry from the real estate office. I just listed Mary and Bob's house. Right? I always mention their name. It's important. I just listed Mary and Bob's house next door. They made me promise I would let all the neighbors know it's for sale to give them the first chance to pick their new neighbor, maybe family member or somebody from work, or, you know, somebody in the family. Would you know? No, you don't know anybody. Okay, well, how long you lived at this address? Oh my gosh, really? Where'd you move from? That's interesting. I'd happen to pick this, you know, I'd take them through. And then at the end, even if they had no interest, I would say, well, thank you very much. It's you can keep a copy of the listing there. It's got my business card. Listen, you want me to contact you when it's gone, let you know how much it went for? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, good. And your name is? And your cell number? Yeah, okay. All right, thank you very much. And so, you know, if I listed 20, you know, I do 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, across the road, 31, 29, 27, all the way down, come back up the other way, you know, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I mean, 3-to-1. And then when it's sold, once it was sold, I put the sold sticker on the sign. Again, leave it bake. Don't open the oven, let it bake. I'd put that sold sticker on there, leave it there for a couple of days before I knocked on the door, you know, so they come home from work. Oh geez, it's sold. Huh, honey, do you see that sold sticker on the sign? And then I'd knock on the door. That was 3-to-1. Every 3 times I did that, I would pick up a new listing. Prove me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
That's great thought, Larry. Fantastic. Other questions for Larry?
Can I ask a
Go
question?
ahead, Christy.
So just to recap, so if you listed a new house, you would door knock 20, and then I love the spiel. I love that. They made me promise to let their neighbors pick their new neighbor. I love that. So then after you would.
The only reason I'm here.
I love it.
You know. Yeah.
I love that. And then second, after you sold it, you'd let it bake again, and then you would go knock. So that's, you're touching them twice. What was the third? I think I missed it, writing notes.
If they weren't home, You know, I took in my notepad, you know, I would write down the doors I'm knocking on. If they weren't home, I would go back.
Got it.
Every 20 of the closest neighbors got to meet me. That is that's the best marketing. It's free. If you can't buy better marketing in a neighborhood. And Amitabh, I coach you, Amitabh, you know this works. We do this on every listing. Sometimes you'll get in a neighborhood and you get stuck there for 6 or 8 months, but it's a good stick. You know what I mean? You get one down the block, and then a couple of minutes, you get another one down the block, and just that's how you do that. Okay.
And for, let's say, for your new agents who have not had a listing, you just have them call someone in their office. Hey, George, I know you just listed XYZ house. Can I door knock it? Is that what you suggest to all your new agents who don't have a listing currently?
He didn't ever tell me to call
Why
him.
do you need permission to door knock a house that's
I'm
around
just
for a house?
asking. I'm just asking. No, no,
Yeah.
you don't, but I'm just asking.
No. Pick a good one in a nice area, you know, good price range. It doesn't matter what company it is, you know, but of course it's always better if it's your own. And you can go back. It doesn't have to be this week. You could have sold a house 4 months ago and you could go back and do it again.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
But if you're not doing this, start this today. It's 3 for 1. So if you're going to do 30 deals this year, this is a real surefire way to get to 40. It'll get you an extra listing, 3 to 1. Okay.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, great thought. Excellent. Good question, Christy. Thank you. Other questions of Larry before we wrap it up?
I have one, Neil.
Go ahead, Marco.
Larry, how do you have so much energy? Where do you get your energy from?
Drugs. Next question.
That's what I was gonna say.
Look, you got to like what you do. You got to like what you do. And, you know, I'm so delighted that I get to share some of these tips and thoughts and ideas that I learned from people like Neil coached me before, and Mike Ferry, and just to share this in a positive way and make a difference in somebody's life. It's a friggin' riot. And come on. I mean, think about the gig that we got, Marco. Think about it, okay? You get dressed up, you look like you're getting married, drive a nice car, you get it cleaned you have to get it cleaned once a week. You go out to somebody's house, they treat you like their favorite uncle, you know, give you tea, coffee, cookies, they sign a contract with you, you price it right, you put it on, and 10 days later, you come back with an offer. Once again, they treat you like you're a king, and you make a freaking fortune. This is a good gig, okay?
Thank you.
Fantastic job. Fantastic.
You know, great stuff. All right, everybody unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves. Let's give Larry a big hand. All right.
Excellent, Larry. Love you.
Larry, that was terrific.
Hi, Neil. Can I ask a very quick question?
You're awesome.
Can I ask a quick question? I do door knocking, but with a buddy because of the security. So if I were to door knock by myself, and if a gentleman says, okay, would you like to come in and look at my house? What do I do?
Don't go.
Well, I had a girl that I'm coaching down in Atlanta, and she was cute. I mean, she was, you know, and I asked her, I said, you ever have thinking, you know, you're secure? She says, no, I got my little friend in my purse. You know, I didn't ask her what her little friend was, but I could imagine what it was. I don't know. I mean, look, use common sense, right? You're not going to go into a house where you don't know the person. You'd say, great, I'd love to. Let's go ahead and set an appointment. I can come back this evening at 6:30 or tomorrow at 4 be better. And then bring your buddy with you or somebody else from the office or whatever, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Or go with a friend, let them be on one side of the street and you be on the other side of the street, and just keep in eye contact with each other.
Yeah.
We do that all the time. So Larry, right now, we're going to go around the room and ask agents what they learned. I understand if you have a hard stop and can't hang with us, but we really appreciate your time. We know that you're at least 3 hours ahead of us. You might even be 4.
Yeah, here it's 4:06 in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 3 hours. Good job. All right. So
I'll listen for a little bit, Neil. Yeah, I'll listen for a little bit.
So let's everybody give Larry another big hand. Big. All right. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay. So what did we learn from Larry today? Who wants to go first? Christopher.
Get in a house every day. That physical script sounds like a winner. I documented it. I'm going to use it.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Good job. Excellent. All right. What else did we learn today?
Well,
That's
I
it?
I must repeat that answer. I learned about the FSBOs. I not be hesitant. Just brace yourself and do it.
That's right. Exactly. Just do it. Good. Great, Shakira. What else did we learn today?
I
The
love.
daily,
Oh, good.
daily
Christy?
affirmation as you're getting dressed, putting on your suit. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Put on your armor and get out there, right?
Yeah.
Good, Elizabeth. Christy.
I love the repeat the objection, always approve, and then ask questions. The solution will appear with their thought process of answering your questions.
Absolutely. We have fears where there are no reasons to have fears. This is just a conversation. That's all it is. If they reject you, so what? In most cases, we'll never see them again anyway. Sandra, go ahead.
Also the affirmation response, the how are you? You know what he said every day.
I'm alive, excited, and full of energy.
Yes.
Alive, excited, and full of energy. Yeah, absolutely. Says that all the time. Okay, good. What else do we learn today?
I have one, Leon.
Marco, go ahead.
When you feel good, you look good. When you look good, you make money.
When you look good, you feel good, Marco.
That's right.
Good. And then when you feel good, you make money.
Make money, okay.
All right. And knowledge equals confidence. So if you don't know what to say or how to say it, you're going to run into a problem, which means you guys got to get to the role play at 8 o'clock every single morning, California time. I posted it again. So all I do all day is post it. Show up, you guys. Come on. It won't bite you. Okay. What else did we learn today?
I won you.
Tess, go ahead.
So never give up, okay? And you become who you are around when you hang around with the same type of work ethics that you do.
100%. You know, something our parents in almost every case told us, and some buy it and some don't, and some people teach it to their kids and then kind of forget it. We teach our children who they hang around with is what they're going to become. If they're hanging around with a bunch of bums, they're going to become a bunch of bums. If they hang around with some of the smart kids, they're going to become smart. Am I the only one whose parents said that to them?
No, and no. Mine did
Tell
too.
me who you are. Tell me who your friends are. I tell you.
Yeah.
100%. Exactly, Matab. And here's the deal. Who do we
Even
hang
in
out
Spanish.
with? The lumpy lumps. Stop it, you guys.
Birds of
Show
the
me your
same
friends.
feather flock together. Birds
I'm
of
sorry,
the same
Shakira.
Birds of the same. Birds
Yes.
of the same feather
Flock together. Absolutely. Absolutely. But take that to heart. When you go to the Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat, I'm probably going to screw myself up here. You know where you should be eating lunch? With all the other top agents. Okay, yeah, it's going to cost you $400 or $500, but the food's there, it's great, and at every single table is a superstar. Who do you want to hang out with? You know, you want to go someplace where everybody's counting the pennies. So, you know, and then they divide the check, and everybody, oh my God, okay, wait, you had a lobster and you had a salad, and oh my gosh, don't do that to yourselves, you guys. Miguel, you become who you hang out with and what you spend time doing. Exactly. Okay, what else do we learn?
Mindset.
Mindset.
Mindset is everything.
You know, that guy's mindset is just off the charts. whenever he's done talking, everybody just, yeah, great, great. We get the same thing from Ron. We get the same thing from Robert. We get the same thing from me when I do talk.
Absolutely. What I learned from all of you, actually, and this is something happened to me with Larry, personal experience. I had texted him, Coach, I'm not feeling well today. So can we postpone the coaching call? And also I'll report my numbers later because I have to report to him. And he's like, yeah, sure, Matab, relax. Get better. Do you know what I do when I'm sick? And I'm like, please, anything. And he goes, I work anyways. Guess what I had to do?
Work anyways.
I got up, dressed, and I had
No, it's a great lesson. Absolutely. All right, what else did we learn?
Well, I tell you, I knock on doors around my listings, but I don't make a point of going back and knocking again on the ones that weren't there. And he recommended doing that.
So, Josie, I learned something just now from him that I had not thought of. And that was when you go to the door and you tell them about the property, the 3-bedroom, 2-bath that's down the street. By the way, when it sells, would you like me to call you and give you the sales price? And of course, they're going to say, yeah, sure. Good. Give me your cell number or your email address, and I'll make sure that I do that. Oh my gosh, what a blinding flash of the obvious. Everybody's got to do that starting this afternoon.
Also
That was a
mentioning the
great
sellers' names.
Sorry?
Mentioning the seller's name, he made me do that.
And mentioning the seller's names, you know,
it
Robert
works like
and
magic.
Susie, right? 100%. No, I think it's great.
Name tag. I can honestly attest because I wanted to prove him wrong and I was proved wrong. That name tag, hands down, it gets me, every time I had it on, it got me a listing. At the pharmacy, at the grocery store. And the line that I like, the line that I learned from him when, because they ask you, how's the real estate market? No matter who asks me, actually, I'm looking for homes to sell. So Neil, who do you know that is looking to sell, buy, that could use my service?
Right.
And if they say nobody, what about yourself?
No,
Matab, I
100%.
just ordered 2. I just ordered 2 name tags while he was talking. I did.
One with my name on it, right?
And I tell you, wear it everywhere. It's magical. That name tag is magical.
Oh, you guys are great. Fantastic. All right. What else did we learn?
The 3,
All right.
the 3-for-1 technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We just got to do it. You know, it's one of the things I ask real estate agents, because in most of your 21-point plan of action, or however many points, one of the points is to knock on 200, 300, 400 doors around the house. So this is what I ask agents all the time. Do you do it every time? Boy, did it get quiet here. Do you do it every time? And the truth is, no, but you wrote it down in your listing appointment and said you were going to do it. That makes sense. What do you got down here? I'm looking for homes to sell. Do you know anyone that wants to sell? Great. How about you? I think that's correct.
I was repeating
All right. But remember, Christy, it's 7% is the words.
Yeah.
38% is the tonality, and the balance is body language. So even if you got one word off, you're still fine. Promise? Okay, sounds good. All right. I don't have the list of who's calling. Miguel, are you here?
One
Or
last
Joe?
thing, always read or watch something inspirational.
100%, Matab, 100%.
Thank you so much, Neil. You're the best.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure, our pleasure, our pleasure.
Time for my door knocks. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Bye, Matam.